All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Ready to explore the depths of human error with me today? We're going deep into Today I Fucked Up posts on Reddit. TIFU for short. It's like a crash course in what not to do, with some laughs along the way, hopefully.
I think what's so fascinating about these is just how vulnerable these posts can be. I mean, people confessing their most cringe-worthy moments publicly. It's pretty amazing, right? It really says something about our need to connect with each other, even through our, shared blunders.
Yeah, it's true, right? It's like everyone messes up, so why not just laugh about it together? We've got a whole stack of recent lists here, everything from tech troubles to kitchen catastrophes, and I can't wait to kind of go through these with you and see what we find, what we can unearth here.
I'm really curious to see if there are any patterns, do we tend to make the same mistakes in certain areas of our lives more often? Are there psychological factors at play? Let's find out.
Yeah, let's dive in. All right, so let's start with a TIFU that'll make you double check your Wi-Fi connection, okay? This user accidentally used their company network to access, shall we say, adult content. They forgot to close some rather revealing tabs on their phone.
Oh, wow. That's a good reminder that digital privacy is, well, it's really important. Especially at work. It's so easy to make a mistake, slip up in our world. But the consequences, though, the consequences can be serious. It's interesting to me how we, separate how we think about our online and offline lives. You know what I mean? We think we're anonymous when we're online, but our digital footprint tells a different story.
And speaking of digital footprints, right? How about the user who was so excited about a new game release that they rushed out and bought the wrong Xbox? Like, the wrong model. They couldn't even play the game.
It's the impulse, right? That instant gratification getting the better of us. But sometimes a little patience, a little research, could save you a lot of headache and money. This reminds me of some research I read about decision fatigue. We make so many choices each day that our ability to make good decisions can just wear down. This person probably just wanted to play that game so badly, but they were so excited that they overlooked something important.
Yeah, totally. Okay, this next one's kind of heartbreaker. This user accidentally factory reset their phone and completely wiped a voice recording of their deceased mother.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough. It makes you think about how fragile all this digital data is and how important it is to back things up. But it also makes you think about, what a digital legacy even means. As we put more and more of our lives onto computers and the cloud and stuff, it's worth thinking about what we want to preserve, and how that voice recording, it might have just been, a file on a phone, but it was clearly so much more than that.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder to really think about what we're storing on our devices and what we can do to protect those memories. Okay, let's switch gears a little. How about that? Something lighter. Let's head to the kitchen. This user had, well, they had a culinary misadventure, we could call it, involving daffodils.
Oh no, daffodils. This doesn't sound good.
It doesn't end well, no. Apparently, this person likes to forage, and they mistook daffodils for wild leeks. It turns out this is a more common mistake than you might think, and it can be pretty bad for you.
That's interesting. It's how our brains work, right? We see what we want to see, what we expect to see, especially when we're excited, like, oh, free food. I think that's called confirmation bias. When we look for information that just confirms what we already think, even if it's wrong. In this case, well, they just wanted those leaks so bad that they missed some obvious signs.
That's fascinating. So it's not just about carelessness, it's actually how our brains work. Speaking of brains misfiring, how about this? We've got a user here who thanked their partner for doing the food laundry.
Food laundry. What?
I know, right?
I guess that's our brains on autopilot. We have these patterns, and sometimes they just collide. Makes you wonder what other weird phrases are hiding in there.
All right, ready to dive into some social slip-ups. These are always a little cringy, but also, we've all been there. This user had a really awkward encounter with a coworker. They accidentally said congratulations instead of condolences after their coworker's nephew passed away.
Oh, gosh. That's rough. Social situations can be so hard, especially when someone's grieving. We rely on these scripts in those moments, and sometimes under pressure, our brains just confuse the wrong script. This person was probably just trying to be nice, to be supportive, but the rules around condolences are so specific, Even a little mistake, it seems so insensitive.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good reminder to just be mindful, especially in those situations. Okay, on a lighter note, we've got a user who accidentally led someone on, and it kind of turned into like a borderline stalker situation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That brings up a good point, though, right? How we all see things differently. What you think is harmless flirting, well, someone else might take it as like a real sign of romantic interest, you know? It just shows how important it is to be direct, especially when you're first meeting someone.
Totally. It's like we all have these stories in our heads about how relationships work, and when those stories clash, well, things can get messy.
Yeah. And social media doesn't help. People create these online versions of themselves that are like perfect. And that can lead to some unrealistic expectations.
Okay, this next TIFU, this one's just stuck with me. So this person realized their medical issue, camper sores, were actually caused by chewing on their toenails.
Wait, what? Really?
I know.
It just shows you if you have a health problem, you got to talk to a doctor. We might think we know our bodies, but sometimes the answer is something completely unexpected. It also just makes you think about how some of our habits, even harmless ones, well, they can have consequences.
Wait, it makes me wonder what other strange connections are out there. Okay, this is a good one. We've got a user who had a huge miscommunication with their gynecologist, all because of a pair of cat socks.
Cat socks.
I know.
Okay, this is going to be good.
So they were wearing these like really cute cat socks to their appointment, right? And the doctor commented on them, assuming they had a cat. But here's where it went wrong. The user thought the doctor was hinting that their private area smelled like a cat.
Oh my God, no.
I know.
That's just our insecurities, right? We project them onto others, especially when we're feeling vulnerable. I bet this person was already nervous about going to the gynecologist. And that comment just sent them spiraling.
And it gets worse. They actually asked the doctor, they said, "Does my vagina smell?"
Oh, no. I would just die.
Right.
It just goes to show if you don't understand something, you got to ask, especially the doctor. Better to be awkward for a minute than suffer in silence.
Totally. Okay, let's head back to work for a few more. This user got into a heated argument with a customer and actually ended up shoving them.
Whoa. Really? What kind of work?
It was a pizzeria, and they were slammed during the dinner rush. A customer was yelling at them, saying they weren't working fast enough, and the user they snapped.
That's what stress does, right? It takes a toll on us. When we're under a lot of pressure, our brains kind of short circuit. And our rational brain it goes out the window. It's a reminder, We all have a breaking point. We got to know our limits.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then we have another user who is really regretting staying at their job. They got lured back in with a fake counteroffer.
Ugh, that's the worst, the old bait and switch. It's so important to know what you're worth, Don't be afraid to walk away from something that's not working for you. It's so easy to get caught up in the moment, Especially when someone's offering you more money or promotion. But you got to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, short-term gain, long-term pain. Okay, buckle up for this one. This user, they almost got a fentanyl contact high while giving someone CPR.
Whoa. Really? That's scary.
I know.
That's a real reminder about the risks that first responders face. Fentanyl is so potent, even a little bit can have serious consequences. We need more awareness and better training, not just for first responders, but for everyone.
It's terrifying how common it's become. It's part of a bigger problem, this whole opioid crisis.
It is, and it's a hard problem to solve, but just talking about it openly and honestly, that's a good place to start.
Okay, before we move on, I have to share this. So this person went to a business lunch and had, well, an explosive gastrointestinal reaction, we'll call it, to their salad.
Oh, God, I feel like this is going to be bad.
Oh, it gets worse. In their rush to get to the bathroom, you see, they didn't realize their shirt was too long, and they ended up dipping the back of it into the toilet during this explosive reaction.
Oh, no.
I know.
How awful.
And to top it all off, they were caught shirtless in the bathroom by one of the executives while they were trying to clean up.
Oh, my God, that's like a nightmare.
I know, right?
Poor guy.
It just goes to show you, even in the most professional setting, our bodies can betray us.
That's true.
But it also makes you think about, self-compassion. We all have those moments where we lose control.
For sure. And honestly, sometimes you just have to laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who knows, maybe that executive has a similar story, Now they can share it. Embarrassment can be a weird way to connect with people.
Okay, one last TIFU before we take a step back and look at the bigger picture. This user accidentally broke a guy's heart without even dating him.
How's that even possible?
So she was just being friendly, trying to, make him feel special, but he took it way too far. He started telling everyone they were the one.
Oh, no. It's all about being mindful, I guess, how our actions affect other people, even if we have good intentions.
It's a real lesson in setting boundaries and being upfront about your feelings, but it also just shows how easily our hearts can get tangled up in misunderstandings and unrequited love.
It's the classic story, isn't it? We all want to connect, but we're also scared of getting hurt. So we see these like little signals, hoping the other person will understand. And sometimes it works out, but sometimes it leads to heartbreak.
I think that's a good place to stop for today. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, from the awkward to the absurd to the heartbreaking. These TIFUs are fascinating, They really show the complexity of being human and how often we make mistakes and misunderstand each other.
I'm still cringing over that cat sock story. But okay, let's move on to something else. How about that? These TIFUs that expose those like awkward moments we all have, like accidentally confessing your feelings to the wrong person.
Oh, yeah. The dreaded wrong recipient. Technology can be a real pain when it comes to love.
Right. This user was trying to like pour their heart out to their crush, but they sent it to a friend instead.
Ouch. It's like we're so used to instant communication now that we forget to like double check who we're sending it to.
It makes you think twice before hitting send, huh? Speaking of unintended consequences, though, how about the user who accidentally turned a guy into a stalker?
Yeah, that's interesting. It shows how we all see things differently. What one person thinks is harmless, someone else might take it as like a big sign of romantic interest.
Yeah, totally. It's like we all have these ideas in our heads about how relationships are supposed to go.
Exactly. And when those ideas clash, well, it can get messy.
Okay, this one really got to me. This person realized their medical issue, canker sores, were actually caused by, wait for it, chewing on their toenails.
What? Seriously, that's crazy.
I know, right?
It just shows you sometimes you have to go to the doctor, even if you think you know what's wrong.
It makes you wonder what other weird things are out there, Okay, this is a good one. This person had a pretty big miscommunication with their gynecologist, all because of some cat socks.
Cat socks.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta hear this.
So they were wearing these like really cute cat socks to their appointment, and the doctor commented on them, right? Assuming they had a cat. But the user thought the doctor was hinting that their private area smelled like cats.
Oh my God, no way.
I know.
That's classic though. We project our insecurities onto others.
It gets worse. The user actually asked the doctor, "Does my vagina smell?"
Oh no, I would just die.
Right.
It's a good reminder. If something doesn't make sense, just ask. Don't sit there and worry about it.
Totally. Okay, let's go back to work for a couple more. This user got into a huge argument with a customer and ended up shoving them.
Whoa, where did this happen?
It was a pizzeria. It was during the dinner rush, so they were slammed. And this customer just started yelling at them, saying they weren't working fast enough, and the user just snapped.
Yeah, I get it. Stress can do that to you. We all have a breaking point.
And then we have someone who's really regretting staying at their job. They got sucked back in by a fake counteroffer.
That's the worst. It's like they dangle this carrot in front of you, and then poof, it's gone.
Yeah, short-term gain, long-term pain. Okay, this one's a little intense. This user almost got a fentanyl contact high while giving someone CPR.
Whoa, that's scary. That's a real reminder about what first responders go through. Fentanyl's so dangerous, we need to do more to protect people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a much bigger problem, though, right? It's not just first responders.
You're right. It's this whole opioid crisis.
Okay, before we move on, I have to share this. So this person went to a business lunch and had a really bad gastrointestinal reaction to their salad.
Oh, God. This could be good.
Well, it gets worse. So in their rush to get to the bathroom, they didn't realize their shirt was too long, and they accidentally dipped the back of it in the toilet.
Oh, no.
I know.
You've got to be kidding me.
And then they got caught by one of the executives, shirtless in the bathroom, trying to clean up.
Oh, stop. That's too much.
It's a nightmare.
It is. Poor guy.
But, it makes you think. We all have those moments.
We do. We all mess up sometimes.
Okay, last one. This user accidentally broke a guy's heart without even dirting him.
Wait, how?
So she was just trying to be nice, make him feel special, but he took it way too far. He started telling everyone they were meant to be together.
Oh, no. It's like sometimes we just don't see the signals, do we?
Yeah, it's a good reminder to be clear about your feelings.
Absolutely. And to set boundaries.
It's a classic story, isn't it? Wanting connection, but being afraid of getting hurt.
Yeah, we all want love, but we don't want to get our hearts broken.
We've covered a lot today.
We have. From awkward moments to heartbreak, these TIFUs are a wild ride.
Wow, we've been through a lot, haven't we? From like toe curling awkwardness to some pretty serious stuff. It seems like no part of life is safe from messing up.
Yeah, it's true. As we've gone through all these TIFUs, I think one thing is clear. Our online and offline lives are they're totally intertwined now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that user who accidentally opened those adult sites on their work Wi-Fi, that's a perfect example of how the digital world can just, come crashing into your real life.
And it's not even just, explicit content. That user who factory reset their phone and lost that recording of their mom. It's a reminder that digital data is fragile. We have to be careful about how we store stuff.
It's like we forget about the risks. We're so used to the convenience of technology that we get complacent. And that brings us to another theme I've noticed, our memory. It's not perfect. So many of these TIFUs are about forgetting something important, a password, an appointment, a fake tooth even.
Right, like that user who had that accident in the bathroom at the business lunch, all because they forgot to check how long their shirt was.
Oh yeah, it just goes to show you even the best plans can go wrong.
Sometimes all you can do is laugh.
And that's important, right? Some of these TIFUs have serious consequences, but others they're just funny. And that's what connects us. We all mess up.
Absolutely. And speaking of connection, we can't forget about stress, whether it's work or social stuff or life in general. Stress can really mess with your decision making.
Yeah, your brain goes into overdrive, trying to process everything so fast, and that's when mistakes happen. It's like your rational brain takes a break, and your emotions take over.
So what can we do? How can we learn from these TFUs and not make the same mistakes?
Well, I think the first step is just being aware, knowing that we all make mistakes, especially when we're stressed or tired or distracted. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's so important. It's not about being perfect. It's about accepting that we're human.
Exactly. And once you accept that, you can start to figure out ways to prevent those mistakes. Like if you know you're impulsive, maybe take a break before making a big decision. If you forget things, use reminders, write stuff down. And if stress is a problem, try some mindfulness techniques.
It's about being proactive and building systems that work for you.
And don't forget to laugh along the way. Humor is so important. It helps you deal with the shame and the self-criticism. So next time you think, today I fucked up, try to find the funny side. Tell a friend, learn from it, and move on.
I love that. So to our listeners out there, next time life throws you a curveball, remember you're not alone. We all have those TIFU moments. And honestly, they often make the best stories. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into human error.
It's been great exploring these with you. And remember, in this crazy world we live in, a little self-compassion and some humor can go a long way.
That's a great way to put it. Until next time, stay curious and stay kind. And try not to, set your laptop on fire or anything.